Cyberpunk is a massive, massive game, and I know the launch hasn't gone smoothly, but with that being said, it's still a fantastic RPG, and like other RPGs, it is chocked full of Easter eggs and references to other media. Welcome to Chaos Gaming, everybody. I've been looking forward to doing this video for you guys today. We're going to be checking out some of the best Easter eggs in Cyberpunk 2077. Let me know if you found any of these. Let me know if you found any other ones. Drop a like. Make sure you have those notifications fully turned on. Do you have the game? Are you enjoying the game? Or are you going to get the game? Let's get started. Let's start off with Fallout. Now, despite it being a bit of a rough spot in the last few years, Fallout is one of the biggest and most influential RPGs of the 21st century, and it's clear that CD Projekt Red, they're fans. If you travel out to the Badlands, be careful. You'll come across a grisly scene of two people dead next to a big vault door. Now, according to the Shards, the two friends were role-playing their emergence from Vault 101, which is literally the plot from the very first Fallout game. But while they were playing around, they were jumped by a gang of wraiths who robbed them dry and left their bodies at the scene. Now, honestly, it's weirdly fitting for a Fallout Easter egg. Next up is Ghost in the Shell. It's a long-running anime series that has garnered quite a big following. In fact, there was even a live-action adaptation in 2017 starring none other than Black Widow herself, Scarlett Johansson. But did you guys know there was a very subtle reference to it in Cyberpunk? You probably saw this one a million times and you didn't think twice about it. Whenever you call Judy Alvarez, an icon will pop up on your HUD, just like any other video game when you talk to somebody on the phone. But what's the icon for her? A ghost popping out of a literal shell. Now, it makes sense because Ghost in the Shell was a huge influence on the entire cyberpunk genre, and it still has a big following to this day. So how many of you actually caught this one? Be honest. The Witcher's Roach. No shocker, CD Projekt Red snuck in a few references to The Witcher. As many of you probably know, your trusty horse in The Witcher's games, it's named Roach, and he's always there for you when you whistle for him. There's a few arcades throughout Cyberpunk, and some of them have a game called Roach Race, in which you play as an 8-bit horse trying to dodge various obstacles on the way to your objective. Now, if you go into photo mode, you can also use various stickers of Roach on your pictures. Everybody loves Roach. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now, the Cloverfield movies, well, they vary in quality, but they're all pretty entertaining. The first movie, it was released in 2008. It was a pretty big, unique monster movie, whereas the sequel, well, it was a smaller scale thriller, released in 2016, and then we don't really talk about the third movie. But did you guys catch a reference to the second Cloverfield movie in Cyberpunk? On the eastern edge of the map, there are some bunkers hidden beneath the wind turbines. Inside one of those bunkers, you will find a dead body that looks distinctively like John Goodman, who played the main character in the movie, and it's surrounded by food and chemical supplies. There is also a journal entry about how he was trying to protect a woman from the outside world, although it's unclear how he died. Now, if you've ever seen 10 Cloverfield Lane, this is going to all sound very familiar. Let's go way back. Johnny Mnemonic. Keanu Reeves has been in a lot of sci-fi movies, and with him playing a prominent role in Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red was sure to throw in a few references to his past work. Throughout the game, you'll see advertisements for a security company called Revere Courier Services, and some of them will say on that sign that the first 80 gigs are free. If you know your Keanu Reeves history, are you a superfan? You know this is actually a reference to the 1995 movie called Johnny Mnemonic, where Keanu Reeves plays a character who could carry 80 gigabytes of information in his head. It's a subtle reference to a very underrated movie. Think about it. They thought that was a big deal back then. 80 gig! Speaking of subtle movie references, how about one, well, some of you will know. I hope you do. Demolition Man. Yes, a sci-fi action movie from 1993 starring none other than Sylvester Stallone, and it's a 90s cop sent to the year 2032 to take down a crime lord. Now, in the movie, there's a couple sequences where Stallone tries to figure out the technology of the future, and one of the things he could never get right was the toilet. Now, in order to do your business, you had to use 3 seashells, which Stallone never got the hang of. Well, Cyberpunk, if you go to V's apartment and check out the bathroom, guess what? You'll see 3 seashells sitting next to the toilet, which is an obvious nod to this scene in Demolition Man, and we still don't know how to use the shells. Any Office fans out there? Yes, The Office. Yes, they snuck in a reference to The Office, which is awesome. If you're not someone who religiously watches the show on repeat, you probably didn't catch it. There's a side quest called Big in Japan, and at the end of it, you can interact with a brain surgeon who says he was the best in Japan, but he secretly killed a crime boss before swimming to America. Now, it sounds like a throwaway line, but it's almost exactly lifted from an episode of The Office where one of the warehouse workers says he once killed a Yakuza boss before swimming to America and starting work at Dunder Mifflin. Now, I'm sure at least one of you caught it. Portal! One of the best written games of all time. And it's garnered a huge following for its great gameplay. It's got good characters, and it's got some dark humor. For those that haven't played the first game, it revolves around a girl being put through a series of mysterious behavioral tests at the promise of getting cake once they're finished. There's a side mission in Cyberpunk called Apostrophe, and throughout it, you're talking to a rogue cab. Now, the cab's dialogue is very similar to GLaDOS from the Portal series, and a few of their lines are almost directly ripped from the Portal script. One line talks about the next test. One line mentions cake, and when you finish your objectives, the cab will say, "Here come the test results. You're a horrible person," which is word for word one of GLaDOS' lines in Portal 2. Portal was good. It was. Blade Runner! You probably expected there to be a Blade Runner Easter egg in the game. After all, Blade Runner had a huge impact on the sci-fi genre and a lot of cyberpunk media. If you've watched the movie recently, you caught this one probably. As part of the main quest, Map 10 Pelin, you'll find yourself going to an abandoned hotel called Batty's Hotel, and the logo is a piece of origami. Now, who is the main villain in Blade Runner? Roy Batty. What's a running image in Blade Runner? Origami. Now, if you didn't catch this Easter egg, I don't think you're actually a Blade Runner fan. And at number 1, Half-Life 3. Did you know that Half-Life 3 does exist in the Cyberpunk universe? If you go to the I think it's Aldecado's camp? Hopefully I said that right, Aldecado's? And you do a little exploring, you'll eventually come across an advertisement for a video game called No Life 3. It was released after a 50-year development cycle and stars a silent protagonist with a crowbar named Baron Fremjix as he tries to fight off aliens in the Arctic Circle. Now, unfortunately, you can't play No Life 3 within Cyberpunk, although that would be a massive power move from CD Projekt Red. Valve doesn't release Half-Life 3, so CD just does it instead and puts it inside their own game. Could you imagine the storm that would come if they did that? And you know there's some CD Projekt Red fans that are super salty we never got it, so this is their way of kind of jabbing back at Valve. And there you have it. Those are 10 really cool Cyberpunk Easter eggs and references. I'm sure there's many, many more. If we find more, we'll make you another video. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.